500 combatants. Number one, I know you remember the guy you'll see on your left here because we did a series on him that lasted an entire week. It's a great series produced by Rudy Kalis. Mike Alexander is with us today, along with the gentleman who finished 5th recently at Charlotte, Joe Ruttman, who drives the T.G. Shepherd Folgers coffee machine. I'll point out that I thought Darrell Waltrip was going to be joining us today, but he was called out of town at the last minute. And since he's not here, you guys can evaluate Darrell Waltrip. You race against him all the time. Okay, next question. No. You know, he does have a reputation. It's 50-50. The fans like him or don't like him. Why is that? And be honest in your answer about that.
I think he's a proven winner for number one, so they have to have someone to call for, and then they have to have also someone to boo for. So it's I think they also do it for a lot of fun. I think that it's been built up or publicized so much that they boo him that everybody does it just to be involved.
Well, I guess he thrives on it, right, Joe?
I would think so. I think that what Mike's problem is, he lives close to Darrell, and I do not. So there's no reason to protect the guy.
I see.
I'm going to tell you exactly what he's like.
All right, go ahead. Well, okay, so much for that. No, we don't want to get you in trouble here. I'm curious, how far in advance do drivers like yourselves come into a town like Nashville, where the race is going to be this Sunday? How far in advance are you here?
Normally close to a week, because this is a major race, and anytime there's such a major race as this, that it requires that much of your time to let the fans know that the magnitude of this race, because this is probably the biggest short track race in the United States, and everybody in the country will be here, and then consequently you have all the NASCAR boys that's going to be able to come in this time, where in the past they've been having a weather problem, and normally the dates conflict. This year that they have that settled, and now you're going to see a lot more NASCAR boys. Okay, well, granted, you make appearances like on this show, promoting the race and everything. What else do you do? I mean, you just hang out? Is it all drunken parties all week, or?
No, I think there's a lot of us that have other activities, as in this type of short track racing, Grand National racing, and sportsman racing. So just about every weekend or through the week, there's something else to do. Another weekend, there's another race, and through the week, there's a lot of work to be done and things like this. And
working on the cars.
A lot of that.
But you don't get a chance to really drive the car during the week until the qualifying is
No, unless you have a practice date or a test date, as you do in Daytona or something like that, then you can proceed.
All right. What if you crash your car?
Excuse me. I can explain more detailedly what they do. Mike lives in town, and his wife is obviously probably listening. I mean, you plain and simple chase women all the time. Go to bars and all that sort of thing.
I understand.
Now go home and explain that to her.
Right. Thanks, Joe.
Now, back to my original question, now that we got you in trouble. Sorry, you got another place you can sleep, I imagine. Anyway.
The doghouse is...
Yeah,
the doghouse, right.
Plenty of room out there.
No, I forgot what the question was. You got me all messed up. No, but what if you crash your car during, like, some practice for qualifying? You got another car to back it up?
Well, as far as like the first race they had here at Nashville, we did. We demolished one and turned it over, but we were lucky enough to have a spare, and we did continue the next weekend and the following weekend. But that car we have recently put back together, and we have run it the last race here at Nashville for the Coors 250, and it's still back in running condition.
Now, we're going to see some footage here of you guys racing, I think, at the Coors 250, which was here back July 13th. Now, there's going to be a crash coming up sometime in this footage. I'm not exactly sure when or where, but we'll talk about it when it does occur. T.G. Shepherd told me, Joe, and you drive the T.G. Shepherd Folgers coffee machine, that sometimes you are so laid back before a race that you're caught sleeping in the pit minutes before a race. Is that true?
Well, I want to explain the crash here. It's really Mike's fault.
No, it's my fault.
I never saw it.
Now, where were you guys?
That's why it was his fault. He didn't see it.
Well,
I think you'll see Joe coming through here any moment. Joe missed the crash, and I was in front of the crash, so we were both lucky enough to bypass all of this. But as you can see, Darrell does not.
Actually, Darrell caused the crash. It's obvious because he's back into the pits.
And the fact he's not here today, right?
And I think this is the leaders coming back to it.
Yeah, there's another spin.
I think
now, what causes a spin like that? Is there something on the track that's done that, or is it Mike's fault?
No, that was my fault there.
Normally, that's what you tell a car owner. There was something on the track, but truthfully, it's usually the driver's problem.
Right.
Mike's trying to pass. Watch this. He did good there. No, if it's usually if there is debris on the track, as far as oil or grease and that sort of thing, it can cause you to lose control of the car.
Look, when you get out there and smash up a car, does the owner get mad? Does he understand, or does he just come over and just really let you have it?
No, he usually doesn't get mad. He normally fires you right on the spot.
Fires you, okay.
Because, in other words, you're talking, these cars you're looking at is in the neighborhood of $35,000. So needless to say, it costs him a lot of money. And, if he feels it's a, it's a true accident, but, if you get carried away, you will, in fact, be relieved of your job.
That's hard to explain is crashing when you're in the back. If you crash, exactly. If you crash and you're going to the front or something, then that's a racing accident. But
well, do the owners have insurance? I mean, like they can't claim that, they just have to absorb the loss, right?
Exactly.
Correct.
How much does it cost to support, for a sponsor in this case, how much does a sponsor have to come up with to support a team for a year of racing?
Well, it depends on how active you are, but to give the fans an idea of the cost to operate one of these short track cars that's going to be running here Sunday, probably in the neighborhood of 16 tires will be used during the course of the weekend.
And they cost a couple hundred apiece, I believe.
$150 a piece. At a minimum, I would say the top running cars will consume 16 tires, perhaps more. And then there's obviously the expense of the crew and the maintenance of the car and the engine and the other activities that's involved with the car. So you're looking at, in Grand National racing, you're looking at $1 million sponsorship to support a Grand National car. And these type cars, to do a good job and run the full circuit, you're probably looking at $250,000 minimum to support the car.
Okay, now I'm nosy. Do you guys have a weekly salary from your sponsor? Or you're only paid when you win, or what?
In other words, you race for what the purse money.
A percentage.
In other words, a percentage of the purse money.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But in other words, you don't have a weekly check coming in, right?
No, so you better do awfully well.
Well, what do you do in the off time? Racing, is that all you do?
Look for some way to make some money.
Like
I mean,
what?
you sell things. I just try to sell some Mary Kay products here. Anything to make a buck.
I understand. What do you guys do in preparation for the race? Now, the race is going to be 1 o'clock Sunday. When do you have lunch? What do you eat? Or do you even eat before a race?
Yeah, I try to eat, definitely try to eat. If it's a long race, I do need to have absorb something before the race. So at that time, it's just really what you can get your hands on, at the middle of the day. But supper time, you try to eat rather well. And breakfast, you definitely need to have a breakfast.
Now, the reason I'm asking this is because race car drivers have been termed athletes like anybody else. So I guess in essence, you have to train. I'm sure you run a lot, right, Joe?
Yeah, run women. You remember
run women? That's right, running women.
I chase anything I can.
Okay.
It's amazing what kind of condition I'm in.
Yeah, chases women, trying to sell them some Mary Kay cosmetics. Well, anyway, I know you guys are getting all geared up for the race. Give me the times of the qualifying and so forth this weekend.
Qualifying is on Friday. I think it starts at 1 o'clock. 1 or 3, which is 4. I was wrong both ways.
Okay.
4 o'clock, and then the race obviously is on Sunday. It starts at 1 o'clock. So it'll be one of the most interesting races.
There's a race Friday morning.
There is. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You guys are in a race Friday morning, affiliated with Channel 4. Here's the Ralph Emery Show.
And Darrell will be there, so the fans can have the opportunity to visit.
Lightweight.
What are you
No,
racing?
this is just the go-karts. But
Go-karts.
The fact that Michael is smaller than I am, we're going to add some weight to him. It's no different than a jockey. In other words, it's the same. If they don't allow it, I'll ride with him to make sure he has sufficient weight on the
Nothing like
Two of us
teamwork.
couldn't drive those go-karts.
And I thought they got along so well off the track. No, they do. These guys are good cut-ups here. Thanks to Joe Ruttman and Mike Alexander for being our guests today. And good luck, and be careful in the race, all right?
I'm going to try to.
That's good. That's coming up Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock at the Nashville Motor Speedway. And we'll be back with more Channel 4 Magazine right after this.